Good morning. Welcome back to another deadline stream ahead of game week 15 this time. I'm just praying for a green arrow. Just one little green arrow this week. Just, a couple of thousand places would be nice. How are we all doing? It's just gone 9:30. A bit earlier than last week. A little bit late, but a bit earlier than last week, right? So there's progress there. There's progress, unlike my FPL team. We're going to talk about Foden in a minute. There was some interesting quotes about him last night. All I'm saying is I'd be much less confident about Foden than I was before 10:30 last night. We'll talk about him in a minute. Kane hat-trick. Do you know what? Even if Kane gets a hat-trick, obviously I'll be very happy about a Kane hat-trick, but I'd also still think that was just a disappointing punt, to be honest. So yeah, when do we triple captain? We don't triple captain until double game weeks. We wait till the double game weeks, we build it up, we triple captain, and then we fail and get no points. That's how it works every time. That's how it works. Who's scoring the goals for Man United in the next 7 weeks? I mean, majority of them probably Ronaldo, right? Probably Ronaldo. I'm very interested to see how we set up against Crystal Palace. Rangnick's first game. Obviously, you don't want to take too much away from just one game, but it is going to be worth seeing exactly how they set up, exactly how they play, whether they do have more control, whether it's just a chaotic mess like against Arsenal. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. My team is set up so I can get Ronaldo next week if I want to, or I can just roll. Basically, I might have Kane for one more week, and I'm saying it now, right? Whether he scores a hat trick or not, I may have Kane again in game week 16 because I'm only going to have one transfer. I'll bring up my team in just a minute. Would you ever do Sky content? Can't help but feel it's the more skilled and interesting fantasy game. Do you know? I don't know if I agree. I'm playing it properly this year. I don't know if I agree. Like in some ways, it's a little bit more boring than FPL. Like it's about as template as it gets on Sky. Do you know what I mean? Just like FPL, I can tell you what everyone's team is. They're going to have probably Mbomo, Rafinha, Gallagher in midfield. They're going to have Kane, Salah, maybe Ronaldo as well. Then they're going to have Cancelo, Diaz or Trent, and then a bunch of Chelsea players. And that is Sky. So, there is probably a bit more skill because of the planning and stuff, but I'm probably not going to... The game isn't big enough, I don't think, to do content on, to be honest. Not worth dedicating that much time to. I don't know. Maybe one day. I do have an idea... And funnily enough, I had an idea I was thinking about just a minute ago about Sky content. It wouldn't be on this channel though, but I did have an idea. I just don't know if I want to get too involved with it, to be honest. I think in some ways I kind of like playing a game without having to do content on it. Like I am enjoying Sky, but I don't know if I want to make videos about it, Maybe though. Who knows? Rudiger to Reguilon to... should I bring up my team first? I'll bring up my team quickly first. Hang on a sec. So I've made my 2 free transfers. And I did what I said on last night's video. I know sometimes I talk about moves and then I do a different move. But I'm always genuine at the time. I'm always thinking of the move I say. And in this case, I went through with it. Let me just get the white line off the edge there. There you go. So I did Jimenez to King. Jimenez dropped last night. I don't actually know if I would have been affected by that, but whatever. I sold him anyway, and I bought Alonso in, as was planned. I've still got Mbomo. I've still got Saka. They're still playing this week. And the funny thing is, if I do Kane to Ronaldo, those 2 players are going to have to stay for a little bit longer because I just don't have the cash to upgrade them. So big decisions to be made next week. This will probably be the week that Antonio scores. Now I've finally got double Chelsea defence. Obviously, it took a little bit longer than I hoped because obviously the Chilwell injury delayed me in getting to it. So it has taken some time to get to this point. But right now, I've got a bench. Every single one of my players plays on the bench. I still don't think you need 3 playing bench players as a priority, but it just worked out for my transfers this week. So I've got a little bit of rotation there. So when Mbomo's fixtures are bad, I've got King. And I've got the 4 premiums at the back now. I just hope that Chelsea over Man City was still the play. I think Man City's defence is better, but Alonso is a better attacker. Sat in a pool in Dubai, contemplating transfers. Not sure I'm as focused as I should be. Sat in a pool in Dubai. Happy days. Whereas I've just walked the dog and it's cold and it started raining. So yeah, that is Ireland. Rudiger to Reguilon to free up cash or roll. I mean, I never like freeing up cash unless I've got a plan for it. I mean, if long-term your plan is to have Reguilon, it's maybe not a bad move because Norwich at home's such a good fixture. But Reguilon's got good fixtures to come as well. And Rudiger's got good fixtures to come as well. And he's pretty nailed, and Chelsea defence is pretty great. So I'd probably roll, to be honest. Ready, can dance. Good morning. Who would you start out of, Gallagher or Broja? FPL Scout lineup predicts Broja will start. I mean, if they're predicting he's going to start, I'd probably play him. Brighton at home, not a bad fixture. Better than Man United away, possibly. And then just keep playing Gallagher after that. See how he plays this week. Rudiger to James, Foden to Gundogan, Bernardo. I don't know if I would do either of those moves, to be completely honest. I mean, let's talk about Foden. So the quote is, see, this is what I'm saying. This is what I said on the Final Thoughts video. You do sometimes get embargoed quotes. And the quote about Foden is, today he was training. He is not thinking about the injury now. I don't know for tomorrow if I will choose him, but soon he will be back. So, if I didn't have Foden, I probably wouldn't be buying him this week. But if I had him, I'd probably just start him and hope for the best. Unless I've got a really good bench option. So Rudiger to James or Foden to Gundogan. If you've got one free transfer, I don't think I would do either of those moves, to be honest. If you have to do one, I'm going to say Rudiger to James. But it's so close, I don't even really know which one's better. I mean, I guess Foden to Gundogan is probably the better option because you're more sure Gundogan's going to start this week. But longer term, I still think Foden's probably a better option. For someone new to FPL, what do you mean by embargoed quotes? So basically, the press conferences that the managers have. We see some of them, they broadcast them live. Either way, everyone starts tweeting about them once they've happened. But it gets to a point in the press conference where they say, okay, that's it now for whatever. I don't know what they call it now. But basically, the written press, like the newspapers, they get to ask a few more questions afterwards that no one sees. And they don't get to release it until 10:30 at night. Because it's gone in the next day's paper. And so sometimes you get them at 10:30. So obviously on a Friday deadline, it doesn't matter because the quotes come out after the deadline. And you don't always get something, but you often get stuff from Man City. You often get stuff from Pep. So basically, he said it in the press conference, but he only said it to a certain section of the media. So you might get like Sky Sports News or whatever. I think this is how it works. I could be talking rubbish. There is a split basically, but you might get like Sky Sports News or whoever are there, BBC, and that's fine. And then after a while, they get to stop. They can't ask any questions. They have to leave or whatever. And then the written press, like the Daily Mail or whoever it is, the Times, the Telegraph, they'll get to ask more questions. I think that's how it works. There is a split in the media, basically, and essentially you get some quotes later on in the evening. There you go. Embargo just means you can't say it until a certain time and date. Anyway, yeah, there we go. Jimenez to Dennis, and next week Rafinha to Sancho, or Jimenez to Dennis and Tony to Jesus, or Jimenez to King and Duffy to James. Like that again. I mean, that's hard to know because there's so many different options. Like, I feel like with these, there's no like clear plan on what your next move is. You're talking about taking out one midfielder, one forward, or one defender. Jimenez to Dennis, Rafinha to Sancho, Tony to Jesus. I wouldn't worry about. Okay, you don't want to get rid of Tony. I don't think, not compared to the other options. Duffy to James and Rafinha to Sancho are both good. Do you want to put more money in defence or do you want to put more money into midfield? Rafinha's fixtures are pretty poor. So Rafinha to Sancho is probably my favourite of those. But Reece James also very good against Leeds at home next week. So it depends where you want to put the money. I think the worst one is Tony to Jesus, to be honest with you, though. Because Tony's got Watford at home in Game Week 16, so I don't know why you'd move him on for Jesus. So probably... Jimenez to King and Duffy to James sounds better. I do prefer King to Dennis, so I'll go with that one. Pep embargo means Foden out, best replacement. It doesn't 100% mean that, but I'd probably just go to Gundogan, to be honest, if I'm sticking with Man City. Is there a world where I take a -4 to get Foden out or just run with it? If you've got good bench options, you probably just run with it, I think. He's a bit annoying, though, with Foden, because it sounded like he was going to be back, then he wasn't. It sounded like he might be back, then he wasn't. And the same again now. Like, originally Pep says everyone's available, and then he says he doesn't know about Foden tomorrow.
He didn't rule him out. It's worth saying that. He didn't say he's not going to start, but he did say hopefully he'll be back soon. So it could get into next week and then roll over into the week after. But yeah, I think I'd try and keep Foden if I could. Again, it all depends who you can go to. Like, you could go to Gundogan. I don't think that's a bad move. You can go to Jota still if you haven't got a Jota. But if you've got bench options, I don't know if I'd necessarily sell him. Last week, Pep said Foden was fitter than Grealish. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he didn't say it that way around, but you're right. He implied, well, he basically said it the other way around, didn't he? That Grealish wasn't necessarily ready, but Foden was closer, which is the same thing. You're right. So I don't know. I don't know. Never buy Man United defenders unless it's Phil Jones. Wait until Dalot starts again and Wan-Bissaka's maybe on the bench or something, and let the Dalot bandwagon commence. Right, 4.4 million. Happy days. Oh, here you go. Someone's DMing me about how the embargo works, right? So first 10 minutes are live for broadcasters, Sky Sports, BBC. Yeah, I said that. The written media can be there, yeah. But then the next 10 minutes are embargoed for questions by the written media. There you go. Boom. Happy days. I was pretty much spot on. Lars, good day. -8 last week. 88 points without a Salah armband. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. 88 points without Salah. Who did you have? You must have had Reguilon, Son. Who got clean sheets last week? I don't even know. That's crazy. Maybe you had Ronaldo, maybe. Mini wildcards all the way. Thoughts on getting a 4.4 over Christmas and having one non-playing bench? Yeah, don't mind it at all. Honestly, I think 3 playing players on the bench is so overrated. Like, I mean, look at mine. Okay, I've got 3 playing players on the bench. How many points is Brownhill going to get me? At most 3 points when he comes on. That's not worth sacrificing all the players in my 11 for. It's not worth downgrading a player in my 11 to upgrade Brownhill. Do you know what I mean? So if you've got 3 playing players on the bench, I'll never change my opinion on this, I don't think. Brilliant, right? Happy days. I'm happy to have King, Livramento and Brownhill. It's great. It means if I get into trouble, I've got 3 players who are pretty much guaranteed to play most weeks. But if I could get the team I really wanted and only had 2 of them, maybe I didn't have King or I didn't have Livramento, I'd also be perfectly happy with that. About that. Corey, how's it going? I'm good. Hopefully you made your transfer decision. Please order these 3 for this game week: King, Livramento, and White. Who are Arsenal playing Everton away? Probably that order: King, Livramento, White. I think. Like, I suspect that a lot of models would have Livramento ahead of Josh King this week in terms of expected points, but I just can't bring myself to put Livramento ahead of an attacker like King who's on penalties. And we know Watford don't mind a bit of attacking, even if it is Man City. So I've got to put King ahead of him. Yeah, the reason I didn't get Dennis was because, one, there is still speculation that he could go to African Cup of Nations. I don't know how legit that is or how likely that is, but there is some speculation. And also he's not on penalties, and also King's underlying numbers are better. So I know that Dennis has scored more points, but I'm hoping that doesn't continue, basically. Oh, update overall points. Oh, have I not done that? Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. Maybe I should quickly do that. That is because we had no knee-jerk stream. So you're absolutely right. I've not done that since the last stream. Let me quickly update that, even though most people probably don't even read it. Stream. I need to see how many points I got. Not many. 54. I need to make this smaller. Game week history. Oh my god, look at that game week rank. It was so bad. Worst one, although I did have a pretty bad one recently as well. Overall points, is it 909? 909, and my rank. Oh my god, I got to change my rank. Anyone would think I did this on purpose to pretend that I'm a lower rank than I am. But no, I just forgot to update it because there was no knee-jerk stream. And it should be... There we go. Correct rank now. Make that a little bit bigger. Happy days. Happy days. You can see my awful 158k rank. My overall points was wrong. Yeah, it's right now. Another good day. Good day from Australia. I've got Davis as my only forward, so I can maximise points between Dennis and Antonio. What do you mean only? I don't know what you mean by only forward. I guess you mean bench option, right? Is this Davis? Are you talking Davis like from Villa? Maximise points between Dennis and Antonio. Fair enough. You must have a really good midfield and defence, I'd say, which is fine the way this is going. King Dennis returns are pretty concurrent this season. Do we dare to double in the good fixtures? Do you know what? It's not as crazy as it sounds, right? Everyone is always put off by doubling up on forwards. Like, no one minds it for a midfielder and a forward from the same team, but everyone hates... Like, they're always a bit weird about having two forwards. I don't think there is a massive issue. The only thing you fall into is if you don't want to play all of the forwards, you're always going to be a bit annoyed about... You really have... Like... If you're going to go two forwards, my only advice if you go for Dennis and King, which I don't think is completely out of the question, but I will say I don't know how confident I am about Watford continuing to turn up as they have been, but you never know. But if you wanted to do it, when you do it, make sure you designate one of them as the better option so that if you get to a point where you have to bench one, you already know which one you're going to bench, and it probably should be Dennis because he hasn't got penalties, right? Otherwise, you give yourself a headache. But I don't think it's as crazy as it sounds, especially if you really want to pack the midfield and pack the defence. I don't think it's that crazy. Will I do it? Probably not. Probably not. Just in case Watford get like a downturn. I mean, the fixtures are pretty good. They're pretty good. They're not like out of this world amazing, but they're all right as bench options. I don't know. I mean, I guess Brentford, Burnley, Palace, Newcastle, Norwich in the next kind of 8 fixtures. It's not that bad. It's not crazy anyway. It's not crazy to suggest Dennis and King, in my opinion. Someone says template team. Do you know what? I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. The template has been crushing me. I'm still not completely there, to be honest. A lot of people have got a Man City mid. A lot of people have got Tony, but whatever. Thoughts on Gundogan captain? Same as any other captain. Like, it's good. It's not bad if he plays. How confident are you that he definitely starts? I mean, I would be fairly confident. And then you got a back against Salah, you got a back against Son, you got a back against Kane. As differential captains go, if you're not going for Salah and you're not going for a Liverpool player, then Kane, Son, Man City players, they are the ones. So it's fine as a differential choice. But Salah's just ridiculous. Is Salah captain locked in? Yes. I'm a little bit tempted by Kane, same as I was a little bit tempted last week and a little bit tempted the week before, but I ain't changing it. If Kane scores a hat-trick, do you know what? Of course, I'd be a little bit annoyed, a little bit like, not annoyed, but a little bit of hindsight. Oh, maybe I should have thought a bit more about Kane captain. But realistically, if Kane gets a hat-trick, that's really going to help me even without the captain's armband. And I have a zero confidence that he's going to get a hat-trick. So there's no way I'm changing it. I'd captain Kane if I had him. Do you know what? I'm sure you mean that. I think realistically this week, it is very easy to say I would captain Kane, I would captain Son if I had them. You don't have them for a reason. So I think this is one of those weeks where it is much easier to say than it is to do. And I just don't think Kane is necessarily a better captain than Salah. Salah is just ridiculous right now. I think there probably is a bit of fear of missing out if you don't own Son or Kane this week, but you don't own them for a reason because you don't believe in them enough to have bought them in. I'm not saying that no one's going to captain Kane or Son. I don't think it's necessarily a bad choice, but I do think Salah's better. We're all doubling up at the moment. We all have Jota and Salah. Yeah, but no one cares about them, right? They're great. I think people are. It's more difficult to convince people to have like double Watford attackers when it's two forward spots. You know. I won't be surprised to see Spurs just get a 2-0 professional job win. No joke. Yeah, kind of what they did against Brentford. They were pretty good against Brentford. They didn't really give up too many chances. Created a few. Don't start Antonio. To be honest, it's probably quite close between Antonio and Livramento. I've got to play the attacker, I think. Got to play the attacker. In Game Week 16, thoughts on Son and Mbeumo to Fernandes and Smith Rowe, or hold Son and upgrade Mbeumo to Gundogan and have no Man United? Yeah, I don't like Son and Mbeumo to Fernandes and Smith Rowe. The problem is, Fernandes probably doesn't have penalties, so he's very expensive now. I know the fixtures are good. I'd probably hold Son
And Bomber to Gundogan. I think so basically, your conundrum is Son and Gundogan or Fernandes and Smith Rowe. I definitely prefer Son and Bomber. I actually think, I know I've seen a lot of people say, like, you know, they wish they had Harry Kane instead of Son because he's easier to get rid of. But I actually think Son could be a decent hold over Christmas. He's going to play every game, I would expect. Maybe miss out one at the most. He's going to play 80 to 90 minutes. He's going to play very close to Kane, if not a little bit more advanced at times. And Son is just consistent. He always is. He always gets points. So I actually don't think Son is the worst player to hold over Christmas. Like, I love the Man City fixtures. I would love to get a nailed-on Man City attacker but I don't know who that is right now. I don't know who the best option is. And I know Son is way more expensive. But if you can get all the other players that you want and you can hold Son, I don't think he's a bad hold. I really don't. I know everyone with Kane like just cannot wait to get rid of him. But yeah, I don't know. Like, the thing is, if Ronaldo wasn't an option, you know, would I be tempted to hold Kane? Probably not, because he's been that bad. But if I'd seen a couple of goals over the last couple of weeks, I might think about it, because even if I spread that Kane cash around, I've got to go to a Man City midfielder. Am I confident in nailing the right one? It'd probably be Foden, maybe Gundogan, and maybe a Man City midfielder, Sancho or Rashford. But it ain't ideal. That's why I mean, obviously Ronaldo's brace has kind of helped things a little bit, and the fact that he's probably on penalties now. But I'm more. I don't know. It's not that I necessarily like really, really believe that Ronaldo's a great option. It's just that I don't know where I'd put the rest of the cash if I don't go for him. So that's why I'm so undecided. But anyway, that all came from a talk about Son. I don't even know where I start. Oh yeah, the question about Son and Mbommo. Yeah, I'd go Son and Gundogan over Fernandes and Smith Rowe. I think like Smith Rowe's fine. I do think he's been a little bit fortunate. Like, at this point, it's crazy. Smith Rowe is 6.1 million. Saka is 6.2 million. In my opinion, if you're buying an Arsenal player soon, you should spend the extra 0.1 million and just get Saka. Like, those of us that went for Saka when he was like 6.3 or 6.4 and Smith Rowe was 5.3, we've been badly hurt. But if you're buying again now, I'd probably go Saka over Smith Rowe because they're so close to the same price. Anyway, no one has asked me about Arsenal midfielders. I'm just talking rubbish. Bench one of Alonso, Rudiger or Antonio. I mean, if I had to bench one, I'd probably bench Antonio, but I would not be happy about it at all. Ronaldo looks so spent at the end of the last game. It feels like too much money for someone you don't captain is likely to miss games. I know. And I've got that in the back of my head. But also I've got, it's Ronaldo. It's great fixtures. He's on penalties. And a lot of people are going to go for him. It's difficult. Apparently, Man United said the penalty taker will be decided if a player misses, then Fernandes has it, so the next penalty will be Ronaldo's. Did they say that? It'd be interesting to get a source on that. For what it's worth, and I've been wrong plenty on Man United penalties this year, but I do think Ronaldo probably will just keep them now. Fernandes just isn't that kind of player that's going to care about having penalties. I don't think, anyway. I mean, I would hope that Randy will come in and just say, you're my first choice, you're my second choice, like I said before. Just why does there have to be this unset? And I'm not talking from an FPL point of view, I'm talking from a football point of view. When you win a penalty, you want to know exactly who's taking it. That's it. Shouldn't be all this like discussion and speculation. I think it just adds a bit of pressure, to be honest. People kit, Sar Semedo to steal Reguilon. Don't have Jota yet, but not getting him in this week, so I don't want to get rid of Saka and Bomber Rafinha. God, Saka and Mbommo. I mean, Jota's a great upgrade for any of those players, by the way. I'm just saying. I can see why you don't want to get rid of him because of the fixtures, but Jota is like a better option than all of them. Sar made it still regular. Nice, yeah. Don't mind that. I'm guessing you got another playing keeper. Would you play Livramento or Lamptey? Livramento is at home in a safer pick due to EO. Tariq Lamptey plays for a better defence and is more lively. To be honest, obviously they're playing each other. Hang on a sec. The thing is with Lamptey, he's definitely going to start, you would assume, because he didn't start the last game. But you're right, Livramento is at home. And the thing with Brighton is Lamptey definitely makes their attack better, but I don't think the Brighton attack is that great. So I'd hate benching Lamptey.
I'd hate benching Lamptey if I had him, but I would be tempted to play Livramento ahead of him this week. James, congrats on 250k, your favourite holiday. I mean, to be honest, I'm not really much of a holiday person. We have gone away a few times before COVID. We went to like an adult only hotel in, I can't remember where it was. In Spain somewhere. What's like? It was one of like the really touristy places, but where we were wasn't really that touristy. I can't remember. Spain. I'll just say Spain. Maybe we'll go to some more exciting places soon. Thanks on the congratulations, by the way. We're on 253k now. Rolling. Yeah, adult only, i.e. no kids. Let's talk vacations. Now, I don't go on enough vacations to talk about that. Thoughts on Ederson premium keepers with the trend towards spenny defenders? What does spenny mean? Does that mean pricey? I'm seriously considering City ×2 and Chelsea ×2. Do you know what? I really don't. I really hate premium keepers. But the way things are going, like if you're not going to go for Ronaldo or Lukaku or keep Kane or anyone like that, and you've got the money, why not get Ederson? Why not? Because it's another way into the Man City defence without having to get Diaz. You could even then have Ederson, Cancelo, James Alonso, or James Rudiger, Alonso Rudiger, whatever way you got it. Maybe Reguilon as well. And people have got these defences already. And they've still got Salah, they've still got Jota, they've still got a Man City mid, they've got cheap forwards, but who cares right now? Forwards just aren't delivering. The only issue is, if the template suddenly changes to buying more attacking players, then it takes a while to get over, like to kind of redistribute the funds. But realistically, like Man City and Chelsea are going to keep keeping clean sheets. And Man City in particular have got really good long-term fixtures. So as much as I hate premium keepers, and I still don't think I would ever do it, I wouldn't be heavily against it, to be honest, if you got the cash. It is one thing I will have to consider if I sell Kane down to a cheap forward. We'll see. I have 2 free transfers. Would you bring in Kane in for Ronaldo for just this week? No. Or do Gallagher to Brownhill, Gilmore, and Omobamidele to Alonso. The second one sounds okay if you haven't already got another like 4.5 million midfielder. I think if Ronaldo's fit, he will start this week and then get rested in the Champions League and then play again next week. That's my thoughts anyway. It doesn't feel like a good use of 2 transfers to get Kane in and just to get him back out again. So I'd maybe do the Alonso move. Thoughts on Ronaldo flag? Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't even know where it's come from, to be honest. I don't know where it was said that he had a knot. I know there's some speculation about how he went off, and he did look knackered, but he did then run down the tunnel, so I'm not sure if it was that bad, really. But as we know, we've seen players walk off the pitch and then be out for months. I'm not saying Ronaldo's going to be out for months, by the way, but running or walking doesn't necessarily mean you haven't got an injury that needs to be kind of rested. So, yeah, If I had Ronaldo, I would keep him. If I didn't have him, I wouldn't buy him. Yeah, I saw something about the fact he hurt his knee when he celebrated. I'm not sure that's not a load of rubbish, but who knows? I can't remember where I saw that, to be honest. Bench 2 of them: Bomber, Antonio, Bowen, Livramento. Ooh. I mean, I don't feel like you can bench both the West Ham boys. So I'd probably play in Bomo and Antonio and put Bowen first bench, Livramento second. Benching Gallagher, last time I did that was against City. Wish me luck. Good luck. Let's hope Ranić can get Man United playing straight away. In Bomo to Gundogan or roll and do Son to Gundogan, Tony to CR7. I mean, again, like this is one of those moves where you really need to decide how much do you want CR7 because it's such a different spend in money. How much do you want CR7? I got to be honest, I'm still undecided, so I'm not really sure how much I can help you with this question. In my opinion, either way, I'd probably just roll. And Bomo to Gundogan is very tempting this week. I did have a way I could have done it. I did briefly think about it last night. But I think if you roll, you can just decide next week.
And then it's still not that bad bringing in Gundogan next week if you want. I know you missed the Watford game, but if you're unsure, like you don't know whether to go for CR7 or not, then give yourself another week to think about it, in my opinion. Would I do Sarr to Ramsdale? Yeah, Sarr out, obviously. A lot of people are looking to ship their Wolves keeper. I'm really torn between Ramsdale and De Gea, to be honest, because could Man United turn it around? I think in the end, I'll probably say Ramsdale, just because I know this isn't going to sound logical at all, right? And obviously Edison's great, etc. I don't know. I just feel like goalkeepers, you almost, I don't want to say it, like you just go with the crowd. Like, are you confident enough in De Gea to go over Ramsdale? The thing with goalkeepers are, let's say, I don't know, like I've got Saka instead of Smith Rowe. Look, it's frustrating, but I can switch that player out. If you get the wrong goalkeeper, you're just frustrated forever because you never really want to use a transfer again on that position. So I don't know if there's enough in De Gea over Ramsdale. Plus Ramsdale's a little bit cheaper. I'd probably still go for him. I think there should be some temptation to go for De Gea for sure, but I think I would buy Ramsdale. Do you think Salah will beat his 17, 18 points? Possibly. He's looking absolutely ridiculous last night so far. Liverpool looking ridiculous. The only thing is he's obviously going to African Cup of Nations, so he's going to miss some games. But he is on, what is it at the moment? Some ridiculous points per match. Is it over 10 still? I think it is. Yeah, 10.4. 10.4 points per game. So he's on course to absolutely smash it right now. Salah will slow down at some point, I'm sure of it. Like, I'm not saying like to the point where he starts blanking for like 6-7 weeks in a row, but to the point where the returns slow down a little bit. But it's looking pretty good to beat his 303. Like, he's on 146 right now. And we're obviously only into we've only had 14 games. So we're not even halfway through the season yet. There's another 5 games until we're halfway through. In 5 games, let's say he goes down to 6 points per match. That's obviously another 30 points. That's 176 at the halfway mark. He'd then only need like 130 to beat it. So I think he could beat it, yeah. I think it's quite exciting for FPL terms. Salah is the greatest of all time FPL player. The greatest of all time player in FPL. Forget Lampard, forget Henry, forget Ronaldo in his prime, or in his previous Man United days. You could say prime was like Real Madrid, but I think Salah is the greatest to ever do it in FPL already. And if he beats 303, then it's undisputed. Undisputed. Jimenez, Duffy, Gallagher to Dennis, Reguilon, Smith Rowe for -4. Jimenez, yes. Duffy, yes. Gallagher, yeah, okay. To Dennis, Reguilon, Smith Rowe. I don't mind it. I got to be honest though. I do think for 0.1 million more, Saka is better than Smith Rowe. I know it's very easy to go to Smith Rowe because he's been scoring more and stuff like that, but I do feel he's been a little bit fortunate, and Saka's maybe been a little bit unlucky. And I think over the next 6 to 10 games, we could see it swing slightly into Saka's favour. So if Smith Rowe was still 5.3 or 5.5 or whatever, then I'd probably still say him. Because at one point I did do a watch this video where I talked about downgrading Saka to Smith Rowe, but now they're almost the same price. I think I would go for Saka. I think I would. Is it time to get rid of Livramento? I'm in danger of burning the transfer. 0.1 million short of Reguilon. Thinking over Lamptey or Tomiyasu. I mean, Livramento's pretty much nailed on. Lamptey is nailed on when he's fit, but they are managing him, so he isn't going to play all the games over Christmas. I mean, Livramento might get a rest at some point as well. If you're burning a transfer, I don't think selling Livramento to someone else is bad. You could go Johnson at West Ham as well. It seems to be his place. Moyes pretty much said that. He's only 4 million. They've got good fixtures coming up. Could be an option. But otherwise, yeah, Lamptey or Tomiyasu. I don't think it's a bad move, to be honest. I don't think... I think Livramento is what he is. He plays for a defence that isn't that good, and now people are realising that. It just so happens that he got quite a few returns in a row, so he was hyped up a little bit more than he probably deserves, to be honest. Like, he'll still be an okay player to keep. I've not really got any plans to get rid of him, but at some point, if I need a few, like a 0.1, 0.2 million, I could do Livramento to Johnson, but I probably need to do it quick, because once people realise West Ham's fixtures coming up are good, and he's only 4 million, and it's pretty much his shirt now, that right back spot, then people are he's gonna go up in price for sure. Do you think I should take a -8 hit for Tony to Dennis, Rafinha to Jota, Sanchez there? No. I don't think you need to get rid of any of those players this week. Tony's got a good fixture. Rafinha's got a good fixture. Sanchez has got an okay fixture. I mean, price rises, mate. I wouldn't take an 8-point hit. I wouldn't probably take out any of those players this week unless I had to. I think, look, Rafinha to Jota is not a bad long-term move whatsoever. But I'm guessing you need to fund it. I just don't think I would do that. Is this one of your worst FPL seasons in recent times? I think it's too early to say that. I did finish 162,000 in 2019-20, but I did get hacked that year and I had to use my wildcard way earlier than expected. I mean, if I finish at 158k, this will be my worst season ever, I would say, because there's no hacking. I've got no get out clause. But there's a long way to go. So I'm not panicking. Like, I got to be honest, I said to someone this morning, like, I was really frustrated after Kane blanked and Bomo blanked again. And I got a big red arrow, 102k to 158k. But again, slept on it, didn't make any raise transfers. I feel all right about my team now. I don't think it's that bad. It's not as bad as it's been performing. It can't get any worse, surely. Surely. Can I really fall out of the top 200k? It is a bad time to be going down and up. Like at the start of the season, like first 10 game weeks, you don't really care too much about what your rank is because points are close together. You go up and down quite easily. But we're getting to the point now where you really don't want to keep falling because it gets harder and harder to get back up. So we'll see. Oh my God, that bench is awful. Get out. That bench is not awful. There is nothing wrong with that bench whatsoever. If anything, that bench is a little bit too strong, in my opinion. I would say that's probably the worst comment that's come into this stream this morning. That bench is awful. That's impressive. The worst comment. That's what I'm awarding you. Budget to do Obafemi to Dennis beef bench up. I wouldn't do that unless you're going to play Dennis. I wouldn't spend, if you've only got one free transfer, I wouldn't spend a transfer upgrading your bench unless you're like really sure that a load of players are going to miss out. I don't like spending transfers to upgrade the bench unless it's like as part of another move, or if you're going to play that player and then bench him next week, that's probably fine too. So if you're going to play Dennis this week, fair enough, but I wouldn't just bring him in to bench him. Derby, Vardy and Antonio to Ronaldo and King, or Vardy and Mbommo to King and a premium mid like Son, Man City mid. Probably Vardy and Mbommo to King and a premium mid, to be honest. I think that's probably better. Gallagher worth a -4 to take out? Probably not, no. Jimenez out, but for who? I mean, King, Dennis, Antonio. Upgrade to Jesus. It's probably your options right now. Captain Son or Salah. Salah, best 1 week punch striker for 7.9. Oh God, I'd have to remind myself of. Let me just look at the fixtures a sec. Probably Callum Wilson. Is it Burnley this week, right? I would say for 7.9 million. Sorry, I would say Wilson. Then it gets tricky. I mean, I don't even really know where else you'd go for 7.9 million. Maybe Watkins against Leicester at home. I'd probably go Wilson over the two, to be honest. This is the weekend where Brentford are going to bang. Honestly, I've given up. I take an assist from Mbommo this week. Right now, I take an assist. 1 assist, 5 points, no bonus, no clean sheet, 5 points in Mbommo. 5 points against Leeds, one of the worst defences in the league. I'll take it right now. Give me an assist. I'll take it. That's how bad he is. Khalid, thank you very much. Davis from Villa playing a 4-5-1. Yeah, that's fine. But obviously you wouldn't want to play Davis as the 1, right? You don't want to go that cheap. If you have to bench him, it's fine. What do you think are the best 5 realistic midfielders to have right now? I mean, realistic, yeah, okay. Probably Salah, Jota, Son, Bowen. Salah, Jota, Son, Bowen. Rafinha for this week, but probably not long term. And then a Man City midfielder. If you could fit that in. Salah, Jota, obvious picks. I think Son, if you've not gone premium forward. And then Bowen and a Man City mid. Gundogan. There you go. I feel like that's another way to say I'm doing a wild card. What midfield should I get? If so, fair play. Livramento and Brownhill over Dennis and Antonio. No, definitely not Brownhill. Livramento, you could do it. I'd probably play Antonio and Dennis though if it was me. If I had Gundogan, I don't know why I would be spending any energy thinking about selling him this week, to be honest. A few people asking about what to do with him. If I had Gundogan, I'd be thinking, great, I've got a good team. Going into Saturday, they're playing Watford. Happy days. He'll probably start. If not, well, I've got a Man City midfielder. You know what happens with them. Sometimes they don't start. Make sure to hit the like button, by the way. We're not over 1,000 likes yet, so let's get over the 1,000. We've still 45 minutes to go. Mboma or Antonio to start. Oh. I want to say Mboma. I just don't know how sure. I just don't know how confident I am with him anymore. I'd probably play. I don't know. That's a tough one. The fact you've got Reece. Like the thing is, I try and forget about the other players I own. It's just to me, it's just Antonio versus Mboma. It doesn't matter if you own Chelsea players. The Chelsea defence is so hard. Will they play like they played against Watford? Because West Ham could do damage. And Antonio could be part of that. I'm going to say Mboma. Am I really saying Mboma? I'm going to say Mboma. I don't know how much I like that, though. My gut is telling me if I had that decision myself, I'd probably play Antonio. I think it probably should be Mboma. Jimenez to King and Duffy to Rudiger or James for a -4. James, yeah. Or should I upgrade my midfield? I have Mboma, Rafinha and Gallagher. It depends what the rest of your defence is, I guess. I mean, Mboma and Rafinha are okay for this week. And Gallagher's maybe okay for long term. So it depends if you got another way to get money for them. Like Jimenez to King and Duffy to James, it's pretty good, to be honest. It's pretty good. Yeah, you can literally see what I'm doing with Antonio Livramento on the screen. Diaz, Rudiger and Jimenez out for Trent and Dennis. Is it good transfer to begin with? And would you transfer out Diaz or Rudiger? I wouldn't transfer out either of them, I don't think. Is there another way you can get Trent? I wouldn't want to... I mean, Trent is better than both those defenders. If you got 2 free transfers, maybe you could do it, but I don't think I would do it. If I was going to transfer out one of those, I'd probably transfer out Rudiger ahead of Diaz at the moment, I think. Rudiger to James, wanted to roll, would mean -4 next week, but made 0.1 on Rudiger overnight. James went down, so maybe good time to do it. Pays off long term. Yeah, there's never going to be a good time to do that move. I don't think you need to do it, to be honest, but sure, yeah. I mean, but the thing is, if it's going to cost you -4 next week, is there a time when you could just do it for free? The thing is, the longer you take on Chelsea defenders now, they are going to get into a point where they got bad fixtures and blank. So you want to kind of do it earlier rather than later. Now, people still moaning about Mboma in my team. Let me just tell you this. The world number 1, the person with the most points in the whole of FPL right now, who I think watches the streams, has Mboma in the team. Get over it. He is not he's not the sole reason for my issues right now. You're too fixated on Mboma. Honestly, it's crazy. Start one of Antonio Livramento and Mboma. Yeah, I would probably start Antonio, but you probably should start Mboma. Havertz to Foden, Bilva, the Bernardo Silva, Gundogan for me. I mean, if you're not sure, if you're not sure, you want Foden, but you don't know if he's going to start. You don't really want Gundogan because De Bruyne is going to be back soon. Just keep Havertz for one more week and just make the move next week instead. But otherwise, I'd probably go Gundogan this week. But you're right. The week after, you could want Foden. But I don't think you can buy Foden this week. It doesn't seem like a good move to me. I've got 2 free transfers struggling to decide next week. I attempt to sell Rafinha and downgrade to Saka next week. City mid and Ronaldo. Yeah, I think Rafinha to Saka is not a great move this week. It's a good long-term move maybe, but I just wouldn't want to sell Rafinha this week. Again, I wouldn't want to sell him against Norwich either. But if you've got 2 free transfers and you've got to make a long-term move, you just might have to do it and just hope. Yeah. Bruno over CR7 could be just as good during this run. Yeah, not without penalties for me, just too expensive. He probably will get enough points. I don't think he'll get enough points to be value. Never going to captain him, not even on penalties, probably too expensive. Is it bad to burn a transfer? It's not bad, but there's very few occasions where people literally have nothing to do. Unsure what to do this. It would either be Tony to King, yeah, fair enough, not a great move, or Gallagher to someone like Madison. Yeah, moving Gallagher out is probably better than moving Tony out, because Tony's got Leeds away, Watford at home. I mean, King's not a bad future move. The only way I would do Tony to King is if you're benching Tony this week. If you're not, you wouldn't want to bring in someone with a worse fixture for someone that you're going to play, you know? Thoughts on Jesus' long-term hold? Yeah, for everything we know right now. See what happens with minutes over the next few weeks. Bought in Lord Fred for Mbomo. He has to go. Do you mean Fred, Man United Fred? If so, that is crazy. Surely that's not Man United Fred. I mean, I know he was pretty good against Arsenal in the second half, but surely not. Surely not. Would you bring in De Gea for Guaita? I'd consider it, but I'd probably just go Ramsdale. Going 4-4-2. Thoughts on double City over double Chelsea? Rudiger versus Diaz. Yeah, I'd probably go Diaz over Rudiger. Which City midfielder for Rafinha? Can't afford Foden. Gundogan. Alonso to Reguilon -4. Huh? Alonso out for a -4. Don't get that at all, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess there is a chance he could miss out at some point, like this week, but don't know about that. Trevor, thank you. Taron, King versus Dennis from next game. Yeah, King, again, just to reiterate again, penalties, better underlying stats, and no chance of going to African Cup of Nations. That is it. What do you think is the Christmas priority? City midfielder or Ronaldo? Weighing up. Well, again, I'm not quite decided, really. I mean, is a Man City midfielder going to get more minutes than Ronaldo over Christmas? I don't know about that, to be honest. So probably Ronaldo. But it's a lot of money to spend. Weighing up Mbomo, Armstrong to Gundogan Davis, or Armstrong to Dennis and Roll. Yeah, again, if you're not transfer... sorry, if you're not transfer, you can't even talk. If you're not sure on transfers... Like, I know Watford is such a good fixture for Man City. I completely get why people want to bring in a Man City midfielder this week. I would love to bring one in too. But if you're not sure and you've got the option to roll, just roll and decide next week. It's not like from next week Man City's fixtures are really bad. They're still pretty good. Even if you waited till like game week 17 when they played Leeds. So if you're unsure, just roll and do it next week. It's not like Man City midfielder versus Ronaldo is quite a big decision. And like what happens this week could really affect your thinking. So I just probably would roll. I know you want to be in a position where you're absolutely sure you want to make the decision, but I think rolling's okay. Jimenez to Dennis and Basuma to Bernardo Silva for a hit. Possibly it's okay, yeah, but I'm guessing if you don't do the move, like usually Basuma's bench. So who are you going to bench if you bring in Bernardo Silva for a hit? Like, taking a hit for a player to bench someone else is not always ideal, to be honest. Rudiger to Alonso, but can't bring myself to hit confirm. Yeah, I'd be tempted just to keep Rudiger, to be honest, especially if you've already got Reece James. What county am I in? I'm in Galway. Oh, I've lost where I was. Who to bench? King, Dennis, Antonio. I'd probably play Antonio. Captain Jesus, Bernardo, Ronaldo, or Salah. Who'd start? Benteke or Mbomo? Mbomo, I think. Play Gallagher or Livramento. I wouldn't want to... Like, generally, I don't like benching players like Gallagher, but, I mean... I think I would be tempted. To play Livramento, I mean. Best 4.5 defender to buy for play, but what about Dyer? Yeah, Dyer's great. Get Dyer, Lamptey, players like that, good. Johnson for 4 million, but I like Dyer. I think he's okay. How long is the stream going? I didn't get notified. Yeah, a few people said that. I don't know why. Weird. It's been going for like nearly an hour. Pookie, Tomiyasu, Gallagher. Which two to bench? Probably Tomiyasu and Gallagher. Pookie against Spurs. I mean, Spurs were alright against Brentford. Arsenal got Everton away. I don't know about clean sheet there. Gallagher, main. I'd probably play Pookie, I think. Probably play Pookie. He's always got penalties to fall back on. Bench Livramento or Mbommo? Livramento. Play one. King, Gallagher or Livramento? Probably Livramento. Well, it probably should be Livramento, but I'd probably play King, if I'm honest. Nailed on option for Gallagher replacement. You have Smith Rowe already. 1, 2, 3. Why do you need to get rid of Gallagher? Why is everyone like so keen to get rid of Gallagher this week? Bowen. Yeah, Bowen. Jimenez to Watkins or save and play Livramento. I think Watkins is an okay replacement. He plays Liverpool next week though, so is that going to hurt your team? Rolling and playing Livramento is okay. If you're not sure on Watkins, again, you could just roll. But I mean, what are you going to do with... You're not going to want to do Jimenez to Watkins next week because he plays Liverpool. So it depends what transfer you've got next week. If you've got no transfer to make next week, you could do Jimenez to Watkins, maybe bench him for someone else, and then just roll the transfer next week into 17. Victor, how's it going? I need to get rid of Iheanacho and maybe Gallagher, Smith Rowe, Saka, and Dennis King. Thoughts? Yeah, Saka King for me. Again, same as I've said all stream. I think for this virtually the same money, Saka's better than Smith Rowe, and I think King's better than Dennis for all the reasons I've said a few times now. Bernardo and Jesus or King for Jimenez and Havertz. Bernardo and Jesus is better than King and Havertz, I think. Jimenez to King. That's everyone's doing that move. That's what I've done. A Duffy to James Rudiger from -4. I already have Alonso. Yeah, James. Or should I upgrade my midfield instead? Yeah, I've already answered that one. I think I said James before. Rafinha and Alonso. Rafinha and Alonso to Silva and Lamptey for -4. No. No way. Wouldn't do that. You've obviously only got one free transfer. You've got Alonso and Rafinha. You roll. Seems like an easy decision to me. Mbommo the new Traore. Oh, is he that bad? Is Mbommo that bad? Oh, God, what I wouldn't do for a Mbommo hat-trick this week. Is he worse than Traore? I don't think he's that bad. I've not seen any leaked lineups yet, no. So Maximin and Omobamidele for Dennis and Reguilon for a -4. Yeah, possibly if you got no bench cover, but I don't know if you need to take the -4 for it. You could just do it for free next week. I get it though. Reguilon's got Norwich. It's not that bad of a move. Max, member for 4 months. Thank you very much. Should I play Raul or Duffy? Probably Jimenez, to be honest. -4 for Skip to Bernardo with Gundogan. Is that Skip from Spurs? If it's Skip to a Man City midfielder, seems pretty good for a -4 if you're having to play him. Bring in Walker for Diaz if I need the funds. Yeah, if you really need the funds, but it's not a move I'd want to make. Just because Diaz is like just decent, you know, just so decent. Nothing really wrong with Walker, but it's just, I don't know if that's a move I'd want to make. Vardy, Jimenez, Mbommo out. Ronaldo, Dennis, Alonso, and -4. Wait, no. Who's Mumba? Vardy, Jimenez to Ronaldo, Dennis. Mumba. That's a defender. I don't know who that is, but that sounds alright for -4. Yeah. Although obviously there is some doubts over Ronaldo this week. It's worth saying. So I don't know if I would really want to bring him in for a hit. I've not seen any news. No, we're not. Oh, yeah, Chelsea news. Actually, we might get some Chelsea news. Oh, God. Imagine if we get Chelsea news that Alonso's bench and I bought him in last night when I didn't really need to do that until today. That would be annoying. That would be annoying. Anyway, 2 free transfers. Trent, who should I replace? That's up to you. I don't want to get into a thing where I'm choosing which players people take out. You need to decide who you want to take out, who you're thinking about bringing in. I'll give you an opinion, but I don't want to look at a team, tell you who to buy. I haven't processed it enough. I've not thought about it enough. I can't give you a proper answer. Ash, captain pick between Son, Salah. Foden to start? I don't think so. Sort of Bernardo Silva or hold for another week. You've had since game week 6. Yeah, I know he's becoming frustrating for owners. I'd probably hold him though. Corey, how's it going? Thoughts on my team? Looking good. Yeah. You're benching Alonso. You bet you're playing Brighton players, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Benching Alonso for Lamptey. Corey, I'm not even going to talk you out of that. Good luck. Would you start Livramento over Antonio this week? You can literally see it on the screen, my answer to that. Was Guaita a trap? Yeah, looking a bit like a trap, yeah. Start Tierney or Livramento. Tierney's not even playing right now. Then there's got to be a chance of cameo. I'd probably start Livramento. Start one of Mbomo, Pukki, or Lamptey. I'm going to say Mbomo. Start Antonio or Foden. Probably Antonio, just to make sure there's no cameo from Foden. Vardy to Tony and Benrahma to Son for a -4. I usually say no. I just don't know if Vardy's definitely going to start. That's my only worry. Like 3 games. I don't know when the last time he did that was. 3 games in a week. But, I mean, Rodgers did say how well he's looking after himself. The stuff he's got at home to kind of aid with recovery and stuff like that. So I don't think I would do it. Unless you really want Son long term. If you're just getting Son for this week, for a -4, I probably wouldn't do it. Who would you transfer in for Benrahma, and would you sell Kane for Ronaldo next week? Kane for Ronaldo, maybe. Transferring Benrahma, it depends. Like, there's loads of options. Saka, Bowen, they're probably top of the list. Like, who are you thinking of getting? Is it worth selling Trossard? Do I keep him a bit longer? He's a bit my punt spot in the team. Didn't work out, and I would sell him for Zaha. Zaha's okay, but you wouldn't do that this week. I'd probably just play Trossard against Southampton and rethink next week, unless you got 2 free transfers. Callum, member, thank you very much. Aaron, Sarr, Semedo and Jimenez to Edison, Cancelo and Davis -4. Yeah, can't fault that. James, which 2 would you play? Tony, Antonio, Armstrong. I'd probably bench Armstrong only because I'm just never sure if he's going to start, even though he always starts. So do I just assume that he's just always going to start now? I'd probably play Tony and Antonio. Huang out for Tony for a -4. Play one of Tony, Gallagher, Smith Rowe, Watkins. I wouldn't take a -4 for a player if you've then got a bench and headache. So I wouldn't do it. I mean, you can only play one of Tony, Gallagher, Smith Rowe, Watkins. Why would you bring Tony in for a hit? Like, if you don't have to play Huang, I don't get why you'd take the hit. So what? I'd probably play Watkins of that lot. I'd probably reverse that. I'd play Watkins, then Smith Rowe, then Gallagher. Thoughts on holding Son till game week 21? Yep, there's definitely potential in that. I talked about that earlier. I don't think that's a bad decision at all, necessarily. Abby Manu, Tony, Watkins, Dennis, start 2. I'd bench Dennis out of those. I mean, that's an easy decision. Would you bring in Watkins this week or play one of Livramento or Gallagher instead? I'd bring in Watkins if he was a better option. I think Watkins is a better option than those 2 players. So if you want him long term, yeah, I don't think that's bad. Best attacker for a 1 to 2 week punt. Gonna wild card. Probably Man City. Maybe just go Gundogan or someone like that. I haven't really given next 2 weeks. I'm not really giving it too much thought. Sancho possibly, bit of a punt. Jimenez, King, Watkins, or bank the transfer. I mean, I'd probably roll if you're not sure which one you want yet. Like, to be honest, I mean, they're totally different players. Like, Watkins you can bring in and play. King you probably bring in you don't really want to play. So probably roll if you're unsure. Vardy, Jimenez, Mumba, I've already answered that one. Captain and vice captain between Son, Kane, Ronaldo, Salah, blah, 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 blah. Oh, Ronaldo, Trent and Cancelo. I've got the lot. Salah captain and then vice captain, take your pick. Probably Kane. Probably Kane still. You've got all those players. Damn. Salah, Ronaldo, Kane and Son. And Trent and Cancelo. I don't even want to know what the rest of the team looks like. I'd say you're probably doing better than me, though. Is there any argument for Benrahma as the best 6 million mid from Game Week 16 onwards? For 6 million? Well, how much is Benrahma? I don't even know what price he is now. 6.1. Possibly. I mean, I still think Saka, Smith Rowe could be alright, and Bowen's probably better. But I guess, yeah, if you've still got Benrahma, he is about to come into some pretty good fixtures. I don't know if we'll get news on Chelsea players. And bearing in mind, last time we had a deadline stream where Chelsea were playing first, there was all that talk about... Remember people were like worried that Reece James wasn't going to start or something like that? And he started. Jesus and King or Cornet and King. It's for a -4. Jesus, I think. Play Smith Rowe or Tony. Tony. Benefits of membership. Just support, really. You get a little badge next to your name, highlighted in the chat. Would Mboma to Martinelli be a good swap? I don't think so. No. I mean, the problem with Martinelli is he's in no way guaranteed to start. I mean, he could start. I'm not saying he definitely won't, but he's not guaranteed to by any stretch. Did play all right against Man United, though, so who knows? He's decent. He can just never stay fit. So I don't know if they want to manage him a bit. 2 transfers. Who goes from Kane, Tony, and Armstrong? Probably Armstrong. Just like Armstrong to someone and roll. Tony, unless you wouldn't want to really get rid of Kane or Tony this week, I don't think. So you probably just do the Armstrong move and roll, whoever you're going to bring in. Tony and Vardy to Dennis and Kane Ronaldo from -4 or wait till next week. Probably wait. Jimenez to King and Vardy to Kane from -4. Nah, I don't. Vardy to Kane for a -4. I just think I would keep Vardy and just hope that he starts. Do you want Kane long term, or is this just for this week? If it's just for this week at -4, I just don't think so. Who do bench? Gallagher, Antonio, Gallagher. Foden owners hold to go to Gundogan. Herpup say he might not play. Yeah, I'd probably just hold. Play Livramento or Broja over Jimenez. Probably Broja. When is Antonio going to start getting points again? Asking for a friend. Hopefully this week or next week or the week after. Hopefully soon. Tell your friend I'm hoping the same thing. We've got 25 minutes to the deadline, so make sure to get your make sure to hit the like button, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and then do your transfers and then get your captaincy in place. Semedo to Lamptey or Tomiyasu. 0.1 short of Reguilon. You could go to Emerson Royale. You could go to Dyer if you really want a Spurs defender. Otherwise, I think I prefer Lamptey, but Tomiyasu is probably going to get you more minutes over Christmas, and that's quite important, I think. And Arsenal do have some okay fixtures coming up, so I'd be tempted to go Tomiyasu. I do like the thing is when Lamptey plays, he's so good. Like if you've got 2 other bench players, you could just go for Lamptey. The only thing is he's always got a chance of coming on when he gets benched. Bench Livramento or Antonio. Answers on the screen. Would you start Dennis or Livramento? Dennis. Massive content, Ashley. Thank you. And captain Kane again for the 3rd time this season. Wow. 3 times you've captained Kane. 2 times you've captained him. You're going to go again. I'm addicted to pain. Look, I hope it works out for you because I would really like some points. Bernardo for captain against Watford. I don't like it, to be honest. No, but if you want to go for it, do it. Vardy to Kane, Sarr to Douglas Luiz to 2 frees. For free, I don't mind it, but you're probably going to want to get rid of Kane straight away. It's the only thing. So I don't know if that's the best. If you got 2 frees, maybe. Tony or Cornet, Tony. Tuckles. I had the choice of buying Ronaldo or Kane. Which would you go for considering fixtures? I'd probably. The thing is, without the doubt and the knock, I'd probably go Ronaldo because Kane's really. Like most people just want him for 1 week and then that's it. I don't know if he has a genuine injury. I really don't. I don't really know where this speculation's come from, apart from the fact he looked knackered when he came off. He did look like he was kind of like wincing a bit, but he could have just been knackered. Worked hard that game. I don't think Reguilon is going completely under the radar. It's just that people have got a lot of what am I trying to say? Like a lot of pricey defenders, right? That is the main problem. Let me just check something here. Where is... Sorry, I was trying to find something there. I couldn't find it. Mega punt mids. Hendo, Thiago, Hudson-Odoi, Odegaard.
Yeah, if this is the out of 10 rating, I'm going to say 1-1-2-2. Play bench Hwang or Ben White? Probably Hwang. Foden. No, I don't know. I would probably play Hwang. I think Ben White's probably the one you should play, because I think Arsenal defense is okay, and obviously Liverpool defense is pretty damn good. I would probably still play Hwang though. I hate benching attackers. Foden will start, probably not. For Mbomo for free. I probably wouldn't do Mbomo to Foden this week, no. Did Dennis Jimenez. Next week, Kane to Ronaldo or Rafinha Smith Rowe for free. No Alonso. Alonso or City mid. Jesus. It's like a million questions in one. Foden will start, probably not. Mbomo for free. I don't know what that means. Do you mean Mbomo to Foden? I wouldn't probably do that. Next week, just do it next week. And or Rafinha Smith Rowe for free hit. No Alonso. Alonso or City mid. I'd probably go for Alonso over a City mid, I think. Rafinha to Smith Rowe sounds okay for free. Like, I don't know how many hits you're doing and how many transfers you're doing this week, and I don't know what the Foden part's about either. Smith Rowe and Jesus or Bernardo and Smith Rowe and Jesus or Bernardo and King. Probably Smith Rowe and Jesus, I think. Who are you playing? Smith Rowe, Antonio Lamptey. Probably Antonio, then Smith Rowe, then Lamptey. Rudiger or James. James, what do you think about Hwang? Not Jason. Not going there. Not going there. But nice try. Callum, Pinnock out for Johnson to get ahead of the price rise and keep him on the bench for this week. Bought in Antonio already this week. You bought in Antonio for Chelsea at home. Yeah, I'd probably just roll a transfer, to be honest, if you've got another one. Bench Mbomo or Antonio. Again, I probably would play Antonio, but you probably should be playing Mbomo. I'm just thinking about what I would do and what's probably good to do. I think Mbomo's got the easier fixtures, so I'd probably play him. I probably should play him, but I would probably play Antonio because it's just Antonio, isn't it? It's just Antonio. Don't forget, keep hitting that like button if you haven't already. Keep subscribing if you haven't already. There's loads of you watching, so make sure you hit those buttons. You've bought an Antonio. I don't get bringing Antonio this week. Maybe for Jimenez, I guess. Maybe for Jimenez. Hassam, you need to get some help. Honestly, reach out to someone if that's serious. Play Antonio or Benteke? Probably Antonio. And Bomo being rubbish should be factored into the equation. Yeah, because Antonio has been brilliant recently. I know what you mean, though. Antonio is the better option. But I mean, it's not like either of them have really been scoring many points recently. I mean, Antonio's got 2 goals since August. But it's also, it's Antonio is better than Mbomo, but Chelsea defence is much better than Leeds. So that's the problem. That's why there's, a dilemma. De Gea or Ramsdale for Sarr? Yeah, I'd probably bring in Ramsdale. I do think there are some reasons to look at De Gea, but I just hate. I'm backing against what the crowd are doing with goalkeepers. It just never ends well. The only way I'd do it is if an Anderson or something like that. Bottom in for Jimenez. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Is Kane captain viable? Yes, but it's probably not ideal. Reguilon with more goal contributions than Cancelo this season, definitely going under the radar. The defence also looks much more organised. Yeah, but it's not like Cancelo is a bad option, you know. I like Reguilon. I really do. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't got more goal contributions either, by the way. He's got 4. Cancelo's got 5. But yeah, Reguilon's a good pick. I agree. But is he worth selling Diaz or Cancelo or Rudiger or James or Alonso? Probably not. But if you haven't got them and you're looking to bring someone in, you don't want them, yeah, go for it. Or maybe in all competitions, I don't know, I haven't checked. But yeah, Cancelo's got 5 assists. Reguilon's got 1 goal, 3 assists. But goals are worth double for defenders. So in terms of attack and return points, they got the same. Jay Adams massively going under the radar. Yeah, and he will probably continue to do so. Does Adams even get on the radar to begin with? Can you go under the radar if you're never going to be on the radar? Not sure.
Jota for Foden. I'd rather have Jota for now than Foden. Even if Foden, well, maybe not if he plays this week, but yeah. Daniel, how's it going? How do you think ranks around the top 100k and high will be affected later in the season as managers start to slack? Yeah, part of the reason that you go up in ranks towards the end of the season is because people give up. There is that is of course true, but also managers are just staying engaged longer. There's so much content out there now. You can easily stay engaged. It's like the game's always been pretty accessible. But every single season, there's someone else with another YouTube channel. There's another podcast. There's another website. There's another, person making content on Instagram or Twitter. So it's always going to get harder. Like, you might not go up as much in rank as maybe you would have done in the past. But there will be people that drop off. People get frustrated with the game, and you start to go up in rank just because they're not playing. Basically, that always happens. Saka to Sancho or Man City middle, hold the transfer. Already have Alonso. I'd probably hold this week, to be honest. Start Gallagher or Dennis. Rudiger for Trent and Bernardo for Saka. Not sure how long I can go without Trent. If that's for a hit, I wouldn't do it. Rudiger for Trent's not a bad move, I don't think. Like, you're never going to want to get rid of Rudiger, but Trent is the better option. If that's the only way to get Trent, then you could maybe do it, yeah. Bernardo Silva or Mount. Probably Bernardo Silva. What about the FPL Cup starting today? Yeah, I got to be honest. Like, if you get to stay in the cup, then it's great. But realistically, it's probably one of the most uninteresting things about FPL. To be honest. Again, as I say every year, it'd be much more interesting if you could create a free hit team every week. So every week you're like, basically, this week's the start of the cup, therefore I get a second team to play around with. That's a free hit team just for the cup, and then you get to match up your kind of skill at picking players every week versus someone else. Right now, it's just like, okay, well, I'm going to make my transfer based on trying to get the highest rank possible. I don't care who my opponent is. I don't really care who they've got. If I win, great. If I don't, who cares? I mean, it's fine. Like, if you get to the latter stages, obviously, it's a bit of fun, but I think they can make it way more interesting and way more engaging. And also, if they did that, right, people would create content around it. What's the best cup team? Although that might not be a good thing because everyone would just have the same free hits. But that is what I would do. I'm sure it's technically annoying and stuff like that, but that would make it way more fun, in my opinion. Do I really bench Mbommo over Armstrong? I'd play Mbommo, to be honest. Mbommo points this week. Come on, we can believe in it. Mbommo and Saka, they need to stop embarrassing me. Stop embarrassing me, lads. Realistically, the problem with my team is right now, it is quite template, as I said to someone earlier. Really, the players I need points from are Mbommo, Saka, Kane, and Antonio to a certain extent. The rest, I mean, unless they go mad, it probably doesn't really matter that much. Nikhil, I have 0.1 in the bank and 2 free transfers with this team. Can only think of Huang out. Any 5.7 million options? Yeah, King. Oh, but you've already got Dennis. I think I'd probably still go King and roll. Because at least then, if you need to get rid of Dennis or King later on, you can. I'd probably do Huang to King and roll, honestly. Just have him and Dennis. Bernardo, Jesus in, and Mbommo Vardy out, -4. Thoughts? Yeah, it's okay. Probably wouldn't do it myself, not for a hit. You could maybe just do one of those moves. Vardy to Jesus, maybe. Tony or Watkins, and long-term option for Gallagher. I think Watkins maybe longer term might be right. For the next couple, I think Tony. Long-term option for Gallagher, probably someone like Bowen. Keep Foden or bring in Smith Rowe. Probably keep Foden. Bench which one? And Mbommo, Antonio or St. Maximin. You got to bench one. St. Maximin's got Burnley. Probably bench Mbommo. I would probably bench Mbommo. You probably should bench Antonio. Play Vardy or Tony? Probably Vardy. But I'd want to play both this week. I still have my wildcard. When should I plan to use it? Whenever you need it. There's not really too many more fixture turns before the end of the season. Like right now, you're about to go on one with Man United, Man City. You've got good fixtures, so you could use it next week, depending on what your team's looking like. Otherwise, just save it till you need it. Thoughts on Cornet out for Bernardo or Foden? I mean, I think you have to go for Bernardo, given the quotes we have about Foden. Got 12 minutes left, by the way. I still have not seen any... I've still not seen any. What's it called? Team news. I'm not sure if we're going to get any, to be honest. Who have Fantasy Football Scout got starting for Chelsea? They've got Alonso and James, Christensen, Thiago Silva, Rudiger, Loftus-Cheek, Jorginho. I think that team looks a lot better prepared than the one that played Watford. I mean, it's going to be tough because West Ham are better. Well, they can be better. It's going to be a tough game for Chelsea. I don't know if the double clean sheet's going to come in. Tuchel said Sal might play left wing back. Yeah, I just don't think that's going to happen in a game like West Ham. He said in a game where they're going to dominate, like that kind of sound like maybe a team that's got is a bit easier to play against. I just think unless Alonso does like some really, really, really bad stuff, right, and you can't pin everything on him for that Watford game, right? Sal was just awful in midfield as well. Like, the midfield just wasn't great in general. They had no Reece James either. And even if like Azpilicueta or someone's like a good defender, Reece James just causes so many problems in attack. That obviously helps your defence. So I think Sal will probably. I'm sure someone will play instead of Alonso at some point. But I don't think it's going to. People make it sound like it's going to be like every week. I just don't see it. I think when Sal's played like 3 halves of football for Chelsea since the start of the season, he's really going to suddenly take out someone that's played left wing back for years to play Sal instead against West Ham. It just doesn't seem that likely. He could play Hudson-Odoi, could play Pulisic. It could happen. I'm just not sure it's going to happen. Yeah, the problem is that everyone knows that Alonso's quite attacking, but I think Chelsea fans just think he's really bad defensively, right? That's the problem. And he's not as good as Chilwell in building up in attack either, but yeah. Benjamin or Dennis or Conor Gallagher? Probably Gallagher. Start Foden or Mbeumo. Probably Mbeumo. I just don't know if Foden's going to start now. But maybe I'm putting too much emphasis on these tweets. Maybe it'll be nothing. Maybe it'll be absolutely nothing. The sole purpose of playing FPL is to win the cup. Absolutely not. How are you not putting the armband on Kane? If you're asking that question, there's only 2 things. One, it's one of 2 things, if not both. One, you've not seen Kane play so far the last few games, or 2, or you've not seen Salah play. I just can't do it. If Kane had got a hat trick against Brentford, I still think I would have questioned the captaincy. And also, if Kane smashes it, I'm going to be happy regardless, honestly. I wish that I'd captain him, but whatever. Start 2, Antonio, Dennis, Gallagher, Livramento. Yeah, I'd probably start Antonio and Dennis, probably. Huang and Zaha are out for Gilmore and Jesus. Possibly, yes, as long as you don't have to play Gilmore every week. I know he's played like advanced and stuff, but I mean, he still is what he is. He's not going to get you a huge amount of returns. For what it's worth, I bought Kane in with the potential thought to captain him this week, but it was really only this week that I was thinking about it, and I just can't do it. I hope he smashes it, because I could do with the points. Victor, how's it going? Bench Gallagher or Antonio? Gallagher probably. I will also move for CR7 replacing Kane. Is he really injured? I wouldn't do that move this week. Like, Kane's got Norwich. There's no reason to do Kane's Ronaldo this week. If you've done it already, it's done now. Just ride it out. Good luck to you. Hopefully you get a green arrow as well. Josip, is your team opinion? Looks good. Yeah, looks good. Good bench. Good team. Don't really see a huge amount of issues with it. Kane's run a good fixtures ends after Norwich. Are you looking at Lukaku as an alternative? Probably not. I think I go to Ronaldo or I go cheap. Lukaku is an option because he's a bit cheaper than the others, but I don't know if I'll go there, to be honest. Buy BT Sports or listen to the radio. I'd always rather watch, to be honest. I can't stand listening to sport on the radio, to be honest with you. I know some people like it. There's probably some people that prefer to listen on the radio than watch on TV, which I would find really weird, actually. But it doesn't beat watching it, to be honest. And I'm not sponsored by BT Sports. If they want to sponsor me, I'm open to it. I got Walker as my second City defender. Mistake? Nope, not a mistake. I mean, I think Cancelo and Diaz is probably where you would go if you're getting 2 defenders. But Cancelo and Walker's fine. If it's Walker and Diaz, you're probably wondering why you've not got Cancelo. But he is like stupid expensive now. He's still worth it, I think, but he is quite pricey. 6.8 million. Crazy. Latest news on Ronaldo is is what it is. Like we don't know. He's flagged. That's all we know. Bom, bom, bom. Basically, unless I really needed him for some reason, I wouldn't be buying Ronaldo this week. Just in case. You can always get him for Norwich the week after. I think Dennis is Dennis is a fine option. I just think King's better. Like, I don't think you can... I've still brought in a Watford attacker. It's not like I'm sat here slating Watford, ignoring Watford. I've still brought in a Watford attacker. I've just bought a different one. Huh? Andy, Let's Talk FPL just tweeted. What do you mean I just tweeted? I didn't just tweet. Start Gallagher or King Duffy. I'd probably start King. Smith Rowe, St Maximin. St Maximin's 4-3 versus Burnley. Yeah, I'd probably St Maximin. I don't think it's a good long-term option, but I would start him against Burnley. Yeah. Livramento and Bomo or Armstrong for the last spot. To play, I'd play in Bomo. Livramento or Bomo, I'd play in Bomo. Mbomo is going to come good. Just one assist. Come on. Would you play triple Chelsea defence or bench Rudiger for Antonio and go double up? Oh, I think in isolation, Rudiger is a better option than Antonio. So I think you probably have to play the triple. And then if Antonio gets rid of the clean sheet, you just cry, right? Nothing wrong with a few tears. I don't have... Should I take Bernardo in or Jota? Jota is definitely better than all Man City mids. Still. I know they're playing Watford away, but you've got to think longer term. Jota is better than all Man City mids. Because right now, his minutes are pretty secure. And when his minutes are secure, he's great. Start Armstrong or Zaha? Probably Armstrong. Zaha could cause Man United problems, though. But probably Armstrong. Bench one of Watkins or Smith Rowe? Smith Rowe. Also, verdict on mid player to increase in price over the next few games. I don't know. Whoever does well, right? Who's got good fixtures coming up? I mean, Man City players will probably start going up in price. But mid-price player, maybe Bowen at some point will go up as well. Bench one of Gundogan, Mboma, Alonso or Antonio. Probably Antonio of that lot. Henderson, good option for Gallagher. Jordan Henderson, no, not really. Cancelo, Alonso, Trent and Walker is my back four. Nice, looks good. Looks good. We've got 4 minutes to the deadline. Make sure you've got your team locked in. Bench and King. Oh. Livramento next. Brownhill. Look at that playing bench. That awful playing bench, apparently. Salah captain. Salah captain. Kane vice captain. I think I'm set up. Whoa. I don't know why he keeps doing that. I think I'm set up. I think I'm good to go. Got to do it. Just a green arrow. Just give me a green arrow, please. I'm a broken man. I can't be dealing with another red arrow. Next week is a huge decision for me. Ronaldo or not. If you had Benteke, would you start over in Bomo? Probably not. Probably not. I'm not captaining Kane because I own Salah. Simple as that. What's going to happen with Wildcard if I don't use it before the first in the first half of the season? It goes. You lose it, basically. And then you're just the same as everyone else. Everyone's got the second wildcard in the second half of the season. Yeah, use it or lose it. So even if you only want to make like 2 to 3 changes, it's better than burning it completely. I've gone for the triple up. If Antonio, it's a tough one. Like in isolation, Rudiger versus Antonio, I think Rudiger is the better option. So you kind of got to forget the other two. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean it was a bad decision. I would say you could like hedge your bets, but imagine if the triple up comes in. I think even if like, hang on, where's Rudiger? Obviously, like Rudiger's like marauding down the pitch as well. I think Rudiger's probably the play. Probably the play. Good luck with it. Duncan, really struggling on chances. Have funds for Ronaldo without San Antonio or Madison. I mean, if you're struggling on transfers, you've only got one free transfer. Just hold it. Just roll it. Have funds for Ronaldo without selling Antonio or Madison. Tips. I mean, it looks fine. Like, what I don't. If your team's good and you've only got one transfer, happy days. If you've got two transfers, then you could just burn one because that team looks pretty good. I don't really know what you would do there. You don't really want to get rid of any of those players. That really good advice breaks your play in the attacker policy. It does, absolutely, you're right. But to be honest, this season's breaking all kinds of policies, like premium defenders. People are playing like 5-4-1 this week, and it looks perfectly viable and perfectly good. This season, some of the rules have got to be broken at some points. For what it's worth, I don't know if I would play Rudiger over Antonio, but I think it is the correct play. And there's a few decisions like that. Like, I would very rarely... Like, I think Livramento is possibly a better option than King this week. But I'd always play King over Livramento, so I'm doing it. So, and I'm happy to admit that sometimes I wouldn't do a move that you probably should do. We're not locked in yet. As always, you guys are too early. You're always peaking too early. Just before we do get locked in, though, please do if you've enjoyed the stream this morning and if you've been watching, you've liking it, make sure to hit the like button. Fan team, I think I did my fan team moves. I don't know, I can't remember. And make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Obviously, there will be a knee-jerk stream this week because obviously we've got a little bit more time before the next deadline. So the last game's Monday. The next deadline's on Friday, so it's a Friday deadline next week. But I'll be doing a knee-jerk stream on Sunday, and then all the usual content next week. Then we've got another midweek game, game week soon as well for game week 17. So Man United play on Saturday evening, and then they play Tuesday. They got to go Saturday evening to Tuesday. Is Ronaldo going to play both of those games? Oof, I might put a spanner in the works. Anyway, are we locked in? We're locked in now. There we go. That's my moves. Alonso and King in. King bench. Alonso plays. I'm hoping Antonio blanks, I guess, because I want a Chelsea clean sheet. Do you regret not holding Rafinha? Yes, of course. Absolutely. I'd still probably have him now. Like, I just think the domino effect of some of my moves, like not holding Rafinha, not going for Son over Kane, like it was worth so many more points, but I just can't keep worrying about it because I think it just makes you make bad decisions, basically. Anyway, I've got to go because I've got places to be again. So thank you for watching. Good luck this week. Hopefully you all get good points, but a few less than me. Give it a like, hit that subscribe button. I will see you again tomorrow, where pretty much, because I've only got Ramsdale and Saka on Monday, by tomorrow evening we'll know whether my green arrow or whether my arrow is going to be green or red, so whether I'm going to be tiers or not. I'm going to go. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, which I've said like a million times. Yeah, enjoy the weekend. I'll see you again tomorrow. I think I've said that like twice now. Will I say it a third time? Probably shouldn't. I'm just going to go. Bye.